Throughout the Doctor's 60-year reign, there have been moments where we have laughed, cried, and gripped the seat in absolute terror. My name is Disney Miss Lizzie, and today we will be looking at some of the top moments from Doctor Who. One of the greatest things about Doctor Who is the villains and their spectacular showmanship. We watched the Master slide along to Scissor Sisters. Then there was the toy maker spinning and twirling to the Spice Girls, a great throwback for all the Spice Girl fans, by the way. But the moment that stood out for me the most was Rasputin. The reason why I wanted to pick this scene is because it stuck with me, because in the midst of the Doctor being captured and being clasped inside of this case, and of Jodie Whittaker's regeneration, you had this wonderful moment that came completely out of left field, with the Master switching on Rasputin and then starting doing this very weird but sort of captivating dance routine. And it just worked, and it was a wonderful throwback to John Simm's Master. You also had this great moment between the Daleks and the Cybermen. It was just completely, is he serious? And it's just wonderful. And there are moments where we meet a new Doctor, and there'll be scenes where it'll just, that's it, that's the Doctor, that's it, perfect. And for me, this was Sacha Dhawan's moment as the Master, where I thought, yes, I like this. However, sadly, I don't think we're going to get any more moments with his Master, but it was just brilliant, and it sort of distracted you from what was going to happen to Jodie Whittaker and the possibility of if and when David Tennant would crop up in the end of this episode, or whether it would be revealed round about Christmas. But yes, this is the reason why Rasputin is my favourite Master dance scene. This next moment was the most suggested on TikTok, and is the one that defined the Doctor and Rose's relationship. Rose Tyler. The two-parter for Army of Ghosts and Doomsday builds up for a dramatic fight between two of the Doctor's most iconic enemies, the Daleks and the Cybermen. But beating at the heart of the story is the loss of Rose. Throughout Series 2, there have been references and links to Rose Tyler's emotional goodbye, and then throughout the two-parter it is teased. And then we're waiting and waiting for this moment. But what we aren't waiting for is the emotional goodbye that occurs on Bad Wolf Bay. What makes this scene pack the biggest punch is the various different layers that have been poured into it. So you have the start of Murray Gold's beautiful and iconic score of Doomsday. And as a composer, I don't think Murray Gold gets enough credit. Indeed, some of the most beautiful and haunting pieces of music have come from Gold's era of Doctor Who. So then with that, you also have the mystery of the Doctor calling to Rose. Rose has no idea where he is, and it lures you in even more that there will be a final goodbye. And then you have David Tennant and Billie Piper's raw performances. I absolutely love this episode. It is one of my favourites, but I can barely watch it because it's too sad. I can't. And it's a very well directed, performed and written script, so it's no wonder that it was recommended so much on TikTok. It was literally Doomsday, Rose Tyler, right? It's just all these brilliant layers just poured into this single moment, and it is. Our next moment takes us back to the Blitz, where, just this once, everybody wins. Alongside living under the threat of the Nazi invasion, London is being terrorised by a wandering child in a gas mask, crying out for their mummy. Though we have an eerie zombie-type scenario happening, the real emphasis is on a humbling and human-driven narrative. So throughout the two-parter, we are led to believe that Jamie and Nancy are siblings, whereas in actual fact, they are mother and son. So when all of the dangers are coming together and it looks like there is no hope until Nancy steps forward and she answers Jamie's question. And she says, "Yes,
I am your mummy, and I will always be your mummy. I'm so sorry, Jamie. Then everything starts to come together. The nanobots that have created this monster then start to recognise the DNA patterns, and you see the Doctor just willing them on, like, come on, you've got this. And then he gets to feed them. He gets to feed these nanobots and do the thing that he named himself for. He can heal people. And 9 is a joy to watch. The way that he delivers this scene is just, yes, it's wonderful. And it does lift it, and it does make it, yes, everybody does win. So that's why it's on here, because there's a mixture of all these different ingredients. Again, it's the layers that have been poured in, it's the ingredients that are there. And Christopher Eccleston is just a joy, an absolute joy to watch in this scene. So that's why this is in the moment.
Another great family discovery that left many Whovians with their jaws dropped was the identity of Melody Pond. The build-up of Melody's story starts at the end of The Rebel Flesh, where we discover that Amy had been kidnapped by Madame Coverine, replacing her with a clone to trick the Doctor. And despite this not being the moment that is listed on our countdown, it is worth pointing out how great that final scene is from Rebel Flesh. Amy awakens to find out that she is in the very early stages of labour. It then cuts to a terrifying point of view shot of her stomach, followed by an intense scream. A Good Man Goes to War builds on the suspense from that moment to give us the sensational twist that River Song is actually Melody Pond, Amy and Rory's daughter.
River Song is one of the most complex and fascinating characters throughout New Who. Indeed, we knew she had a connection to the Doctor, but weren't entirely sure why or how, and it is in one of the rare instances that the Doctor is as much in the dark as the audience. So to have that ripped from him and from us in some way, because it makes us feel uncertain, because if the hero doesn't know who she is, then how can we trust her? But there's something about her that both of us trust. And then you had her story going into like a complete 180, because then she was in the dark about what her fate would be and the last time that she would see the Doctor, etc. And that was something that the audience and the Doctor knew. So we had that connection to River about her death. So it's very, very clever how that was done. And it is one of the defining moments of Stephen Moffat's tenure as a writer and the showrunner of Doctor Who. Matt Smith and Alex Kingston bounce off each other extremely well in this scene. So amongst all this frustration and anger that the Doctor has towards River, and equally she's frustrated and angry at him, it then changes in a matter of milliseconds that he's, oh, it's you, and are we, and it changes the dynamic again. And to do that so quickly and so naturally, it's just, oh wow. And River is also shown a vulnerability that we've never quite seen before. So she's known to be quite a flirtatious and passionate and tantalizing person, but then she has this vulnerability between Amy and Rory. It strips back that layer of her, and we're seeing a different side to the character. This was also a TikTok recommended scene, but it's one that is very well performed and was brilliantly paced and told of a character that I still think there's more to River, but maybe that's just me wanting her to come back, but I still think there's more to her character than meets the eye.
For these next moments, you will need to keep your eyes open. And remember, just don't blink. The Weeping Angels are one of the most renowned and feared villains from New Who. Their ability to transform into stone and the need to make their victims unable to blink in their presence adds to their subtle yet terrifying persona.
Their first appearance in the episode Blink is definitely one of the most brilliantly told and suspenseful episodes of Doctor Who. Sally Sparrow undoubtedly is one of the best companions that the Doctor never had. She's strong, she's clever, and determined. A determination that saw her get to the bottom of the mystery of Wester Drumlin's house, a series of statues, and a mysterious DVD Easter egg. So one of the reasons why I absolutely love Blink and why I think it is one of the best Doctor Who episodes is because everything has been stripped back. It uses a lot of very subtle camera movements. It uses a lot of very subtle sound effects, music. It then all builds together and it all comes together with this mystery and people disappearing to the Doctor and Sally having a conversation through the DVD extra. Even when you watch it without the episode, you just watch the Easter egg, it's still quite a chilling conversation to listen to. Where he says, you know, that they are coming for you and they are faster than anything. So don't look away, don't look and don't blink. Good luck. And then it pauses on the Doctor's face. And it's just, ooh. Another great thing is the script and the timing of it. So all amongst this mystery and then this subtle horror at the end, you have bits of brilliant comedic timing. So when Larry starts to write down, the Doctor says, look to your left. He says, yeah, that's a political statement. He means you. And it just breaks that tension. It breaks it up so you feel a little bit more relaxed. And all of a sudden, David Tennant, or the 10th Doctor, ramps it up by going, right, now we've got to talk. The angels are coming. They're going to steal the blue box. They're going to feast on this energy. And it's just, oh my gosh, we're in danger now. We're in trouble. After that, you then have Larry trying not to blink and he turns away and you have the angel just, wah! And that sound effect is so good. I love it. Really love it. As a directional piece, I can't fault it. It's amazing and it shows just what you can do with just shadows and very subtle sound effects. And this is, I'd say, minus the most recent episode with Jodie Whittaker, this is the Weeping Angels at their best. They're fantastic. I love them in this and I love David Tennant's performance. I love Carrie Mulligan's performance, sorry. It's just what a Doctor Who episode should be. And I love it. It's my all-time favourite. And this moment, this scene where it all builds up and it all comes together, just brilliant. 10 out of 10. I love it.
And that tension carries on into our next moment as we head to New York, where the angels and a cemetery are waiting for us. The first thing that I would probably mention about The Angels Take Manhattan is that it is very much a mixed bag episode. You have an awesome backdrop of New York along with some wonderful shots of the weeping angels, with my favourite being the cherub who blows out the flame on Rory's match. Excellent directing and use of suspense. But when the lore and the additional sound effects of the angels are brought in, it starts to lose something. The Statue of Liberty and the manic laughter from the cherubs, which do sound like Balloon Boy from Five Nights at Freddy's, robs the angels of what made them so terrifying in the first place. However, pushing that all aside, you have a beautifully shot moment between Rory and Amy.
So Rory comes to the realisation that he has to die. In order for this paradox to be fixed, he has to go. And he pleads with Amy and begs her to push him. And she refuses. And instead, she jumps onto the ledge, or she steps onto the ledge to join him. And they fall. The way that it was shot and the way that Murray Gold's score plays over the top almost feels like poetry in some way. You have Amy wrapping her arms around Rory and drawing him in, and it showcases their undying love for each other, that through everything that they've been through, they're still together. And Amy absolutely loves and adores Rory. And then it all leads up to that final goodbye from Amy in the graveyard to the Doctor, when Rory is taken by the Weeping Angels and they go and they're able to live out the final days together. And it is an emotional goodbye. And it's just very, very well filmed, very well performed, and it all comes together beautifully.
Next on our list is a somewhat light-hearted dinner date. A dinner date with a prisoner. Boomtown is one of the best guilty pleasures from Doctor Who. It isn't the greatest on special effects or lighting, but it features a brilliant exchange between the Doctor and Margaret, the Slovene. Following on from the events of World War III, the Doctor stumbles upon Margaret in Cardiff and takes her prisoner, vowing to return her to Raxacora Falabatorius, where she will receive the death sentence. Margaret proposes one final request to the Doctor and asks for a meal. She ponders if he could stomach having a last meal with his prisoner, his victim.
Then you go into the restaurant and you have this wonderful, wonderful scene where it almost feels like they're playing chess with each other. So when Margaret initiates a defense mechanism, the Doctor is always one step ahead, and yet he's playing it so cool. He's busy contemplating what to have to eat, where she's telling him, oh, did you know that the Slovene have this defense mechanism? Did you know that a female Slovene could do this, etc.? I also love how in these situations where Nine is just completely cool and down to earth, and that's what made Christopher Eccleston's Doctor work and a joy and a pleasure to watch. And the same can be said when he meets historical figures, so when he sees Charles Dickens. And amongst all this chaos of the dead walking up, rising up, terrorising Cardiff, the Doctor jumps into an empty carriage. Charles Dickens runs up and says, excuse me, you're in my coach. And the Doctor just drags him in and is like, yeah, come on then. And he finds out that, you're Charles Dickens. And he says, oh, you know, fantastic, brilliant writer. Then he tells him that Martin Chuzzlewit, the American stuff, and it's padding, it's rubbish, to which Charles Dickens says, I thought you were my fan. So, well, if you can't take criticism. And it's brilliant. And the timing between Simon Callow and Christopher Eccleston, they just bounce each other so well. And this is what made Nine brilliant, Nine fantastic, as it were. I love these scenes. They're fantastic. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Love them.
As a character, the Doctor is renowned for their epic speeches. There is Ten's iconic speech, I am a Time Lord, from The Voyage of the Damned. Then you have 11's I am the Doctor from The Big Bang. These theatrical performances are fist punch the sky moments as we go and do battle with our gallant hero by our side. But then you have the stripped back speeches, the ones that resonate with you and take the Doctor into deeper territories. The following moments come from 12, with the first speech taken from the Zygon inversion.
So admittedly, 12 is not necessarily my Doctor. I think anyone who's seen most of my Doctor Who videos know that I'm very much a David Tennant fan. But out of every single scene that I've ever seen of Doctor Who in the New Who series, this speech from the Zygon inversion connected to me and has stayed with me for years since its original broadcast. Now, the actual episode itself, I would say, is very poor. If you were to ask me what happens in it, I could not tell you. I just know it's something to do with the Zygon, something to do with UNIT, and then you have this scene between the Zygon and Kate from UNIT, with the Doctor watching, sort of astonished at what is about to occur in front of him. It also very much feels like Peter Capaldi has stepped in with the Doctor to make this very impassioned speech about the effects of war that takes it out of Doctor Who sort of thing. So whilst you have the Zygons in the background, which, yes, admittedly, their costume do look slightly comical in this moment, I think it goes to show what you can do with a good script and a good actor, and it pulls it just out from being a very forgettable moment.
Another inspiring speech from 12 is from the Series 9 finale, The Doctor Falls.
He's imploring to Missy to be kind, that she has changed. She doesn't need to be this person that her past is telling her that she should be. She's grown as an individual, and yet Missy's being pulled. And he says that sometimes one of the most hardest things to do is to be kind, because kindness is what we value as human beings. These are moments where 12 really does shine. Very, very powerful, very well performed, very well written. So that's why these two moments are in the countdown.
And now, to close off our list, we have one of the best and rememberable moments from Doctor Who, the Doctor and Donna reuniting.
Throughout the episode, we've seen the Doctor and Donna pass each other in the office. You've seen her leap over the board trying to find the printer, the Doctor doing the same, and them just missing each other. And then we go forward and the Doctor's trying to investigate about the adipose, Donna's doing the same. You have the Doctor coming from the window and Donna coming from the door where they just meet. And Romy Gold's sound effects leads the scene in, so you have a dramatic doo-doo-doo sort of happening, and then of the trumpet you just hear and Donna go, and Doctor's just, that is, oh my gosh, wonderful, wonderful acting. And then you have Miss Foster breaking it up with, are we interrupting something? And then, oh, just like old times. This was another scene that was highly recommended on TikTok. And you can see why, because it is the epitome of Donna and the Doctor. So, well done. Well, that's it for this moment list. But if you like what I do and want to keep up to date on the next Doctor Who video that will come to the channel, then please hit that subscribe button, like and share this video so we can build up the community. And for more Doctor Who and Disney content, then please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. So anyway, have an awesome day and I will see you very soon. Okay, bye guys, bye.